And this is a movie called The Big Short, which was one of the Oscar contenders of this year. And I think it actually won anything. I'm trying to think if it did, but I think it was nominated for many things. But it was directed by Adam McKay, who is best known for making comedy films like Anchorman, the Anchorman movies, and other things like that. And this is based on the non-fiction 2010 book The Big Short, Inside the Doomsday Machine by Michael Lewis, which is about the financial crisis of 2007 to 2008, which was triggered by the United States housing bubble and other things. And the film stars Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt, among others. And it's an unconventional piece of work. It explains financial dealings in pretty complex ways. You know, I suppose it maybe assumes that you know something about it. If it doesn't, it tries to explain it to you. So, for example, there's a scene where the actress Margot Robbie, is sitting in a bubble bath, trying to explain how subprime mortgages work, which is very interesting, actually. So Christian Bale plays a financial analyst who appears to be somewhere on the autistic spectrum, who works alone in an office, listens to heavy metal, and he predicts that there's going to be a crash in the US housing market to do with subprime mortgages. He predicts this a long time before it happens, and then urges his people to pull their money out of it, to which his bosses are pretty unhappy. Another man who thinks it's coming is Steve Carell, who's an investments guy, and him and his team are investigating, trying to find out what is going on, and what are these people doing, selling subprime mortgages to people who will never be able to afford to pay back the loan. It is eye-popping stuff, this film. It's angry. It's a real surprise, actually, from Adam McKay, who I have always considered to be a maker of pretty ropey comedies, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen a film of his that I thought was particularly funny. This is very well made. It's very well acted. It's angry. There's a scene at the end. This has been talked about before, but there's a scene at the end, a very short scene, when there's a little montage where it says, and of course, we put all the bankers in jail. Just kidding. We didn't really. Only one man went to jail, and he had pretty much nothing to do with it. And there's then a footnote at the end of the film to say that very recently, sort of this year, maybe last year, an American bank was selling something like a subprime mortgage again. So, people just don't heed the warnings of the past, and will go down the same route again, and the bubble's going to burst again in the future, I think. So it's angry. It's very well done. Brad Pitt plays a guy who knows how the system works, but is let's say, locked away somewhere in Colorado because he doesn't want anyone to find him, because he's tried to blow the whistle on this stuff before. There's also an interesting scene where a couple of guys who are trying to break into the investment banking business, they take the story to the New York Times, one of the big New York papers, and the journalist says, "Look, I just can't run with this. It would destroy me. Nobody's going to believe you. Nobody will believe you if you tell them that this is happening right now." I think that this film would work as a trilogy. It would work with 99 Homes, film that I talked about a little while ago, and also Margin Call. So these are both films about the financial crisis, but in different ways. So The Big Short takes a sort of global, holistic view of the whole thing. Margin Call is about one particular bank, or an investment bank, a bit like Lehman Brothers. And 99 Homes is about the sharp end of business, repossessing people's homes who can't afford to pay their mortgages anymore. And I think that those three films, taken as a whole, tell you pretty much everything you need to know about the financial crisis and how the whole thing operates. I thought that The Big Short was gripping and thrilling. And even if you know nothing about money, watch it, and I urge you to watch those other two films as well. They are, taken as a trilogy, they're a piece of work. They really are. And The Big Short is rated 15. It's a fair bit of swearing in it, as you could probably expect from that kind of cast. Okay, now I'm going to play a couple of tracks from the soundtrack. The soundtrack is a good one. First up, we've got one of my favourite artists with a song that sums up pretty much everything that you need to know about capitalism. This is Neil Young.